only a month away from Google's next big launch. And honestly, after how good the Pixel 9 looked last year, I had high hopes. But what we're getting with the Pixel 10? It feels like Google's playing it safe. So is it really worth the upgrade? Or is Google just dressing up small changes and calling it new? Let's break it all down. Design-wise, it's mostly the same, with a few tweaks if you already own a Pixel 9, and this is going to feel very familiar. Same size, same camera bar on the back, same button placement, same aluminum frame around the sides, and the same Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and back. But if you look closely, side by side with the Pixel 9, you will spot a few changes. The biggest one is a new triple camera setup. Google also moved the SIM card tray. It's now on the top instead of the bottom. And yeah, there's a new color option too. That's pretty much it for the design. Now the display, same 6.3-inch OLED size as the Pixel 9, but this time, Google actually fixed some stuff. For the first time ever, the base Pixel is getting an LTPO display. That means, finally, we're getting adaptive refresh rates. Pixel 8 and 9 had 120 Hz too, but it wasn't adaptive, which wasn't great for battery. So yeah, big win here. And speaking of display improvements, Pixel 10 is also getting brighter. It gets a 200 nits boost in high brightness mode and 300 nits extra at peak brightness compared to Pixel 9. And yeah, that's actually noticeable when you're out in the sun. Now let's talk about the biggest headline feature. At first glance, the camera setup looks like a big step forward. But when you look closer, it's kind of a bait and switch. Google's finally giving us a telephoto lens for the first time ever on a non-Pro Pixel. It's the same 10.8 megapixel telephoto sensor from the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, with 5x optical zoom. That sounds great, right? But here's the catch. Google actually downgraded the other two sensors. The main camera? It's no longer the 50 megapixel sensor from last year. Instead, they're using the same 48 megapixel sensor from the cheaper Pixel 9a. This isn't just a resolution drop, it's a straight-up downgrade. It's a smaller sensor, struggles more in low light, and just feels like a step back. Same for the ultra-wide, from a 48 megapixel down to just 12 megapixels. Now, Google's software might compensate, but on paper, that's two downgrades for one upgrade. Internally, there's a chipset upgrade as usual, so Google finally ditched Samsung and went with TSMC for the Tensor G5. The same 3-nanometer process Apple and Qualcomm are using. But here's the thing, the Tensor G5 still isn't in the same league. It's better than the G4, no doubt. It's more efficient, runs cooler, and slightly faster. But in raw performance, it's still lagging a generation or two behind the competition. And then comes the weird part. Despite being a 2025 flagship chip, the Pixel 10 doesn't support Wi-Fi 7. Even the Pixel 9 had Wi-Fi 7. Budget phones have it. So why take it out now? Makes zero sense. Pixel 10 still comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM, which, to be fair, is solid. But once again, there's no 512 gigabyte storage option like other competitive smartphones offer. However, battery is one area where Google did upgrade. Pixel 10 is packing a bigger battery, almost the same capacity as the Galaxy S25 Ultra. But honestly, that might not have been the smartest move. The Pixel 9 already had a 4,700 mAh battery, and with the new chip's efficiency, that's more than enough. Instead of using that extra space for more battery, Google could have added a vapor cooling system, which would have made way more sense, especially with AI workloads getting heavier. Even though the Pixel 9 handled heat just fine, better cooling in 2025 would have made more sense than just a slightly bigger battery. Charging-wise, it's a tiny 2-watt boost. Still slow compared to other phones in this price range, but it is getting Qi 2 wireless charging support, which is nice to see. According to leaks, Google isn't raising the price, just like they've done the past couple of years, so that's a win. But back to the main question, is it worth the wait? Well, you do get one extra year of software updates, which is always nice. But when you zoom out, it's a handful of small wins, some disappointments, and a lot that feels recycled. If you're thinking of buying right now, the Pixel 9 is heavily discounted, and still a solid phone. If you're thinking of upgrading, honestly, the Pixel 10 just didn't wow me. Thanks for watching. This is Techtics, and I'll see you in the next one.